Hey everybody, thanks for clicking on Liz the One TV. I'm your girl Liz the One. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button for me. Hit the bell to go ahead and get notifications. So whenever I do a video, you'll be notified. We're just going to hop into it because I've redone this video twice and I've tried to upload it and it wouldn't let me do it. So this is my final attempt and we're just going to go from here. So this is entitled, this is the third and final installment of Why is Steve Harvey Losing His Shows? So with the latest news that is coming out, as you all know, I told you last year that he was losing his shows. I got a lot of opposition. I've been called all kinds of stuff, a hater, a bad wench, a coon, all kinds of things. It's completely fine. It comes with the territory of owning a channel, but I was right. So this month, June, he already filmed the final show, installment of the Steve Show. And he is no longer the host of Little Big Shots. So the Steve Show is going to be replaced with Kelly Clarkson sometime toward the end of this month. And then the Little Big Shots is going to be replaced with Melissa McCarthy. Now, for Little Big Shots, he is a producer on the show. So he may have voluntarily stepped down from this show. I believe it is between him and Ellen DeGeneres, and he still gets paid from this show. So unless they kick him off as a producer, this is still his show, Little Big Shots. So he still gets a paycheck from that. He may have just decided to not appear on that network at all, but still receive his paychecks. So let's start. Why is he losing his shows? Now, there have been a couple of controversies. Now, he got his show and became like a relationship guru based off his best-selling book. It was a huge selling book called Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man. But then some things happened. Tony Rock, who was a comedian, but also the brother of Chris Rock, called him out and inquired as to why people pretty much made him their relationship gurus. And from this, you know, it was still pretty quiet. People never really said too much about it. But, you know, even then, you know, people were digging into his past because he had some controversies. Like, he had a thing with him and Bernie Mac. There had been stories out about how he had tried to go behind Bernie Mac's back, dog him out in the industry. But according to him, that never happened. It was just, you know, like a little innocent rivalry. And so I'm just going to leave it at that because I don't really have much proof. And from what I see, a lot of comedians do like sort of this banter that comes along with that territory. But here are the real scandals. So the first one that I have is not really much of a scandal, but it was really funny to see him call out the wrong contestant in the Miss USA pageant. And when he called, he announced Colombia as the winner. And then he had to go back and announce Miss Philippines as the winner because she was the actual winner. Now, when he did the apology afterwards, he was dragged on Twitter because he spelled Philippines like in the Bible, like Philippians instead of, you know, Philippines. But to me, that wasn't that big of a deal. However, Miss Colombia, to this day, her career never really took off because she still held a grudge about it. I think that, you know, with the notoriety that she got off of her name, like off of being announced wrong, she could have flipped that into a very lucrative career because there have been many beauty pageant contestants that have, you know, really flipped their careers, like, you know, like in a huge deal. Like Vanessa Williams was really the first Miss Black USA. I know we hear Kenya Moore, but there was a scandal with Vanessa Williams, so she had to relinquish her crown. But she went on to have a very good acting career in Hollywood, singing career, as well as Halle Berry. Halle Berry was a runner-up. She never really made Miss USA, but she did go on to have a very lucrative career. But Miss Colombia shot herself in the foot because she just wouldn't let it go. But there are other serious scandals, and as I'm talking about this, you will see this, you know, coming across the screen. Other scandals, like when he told a listener on his radio show that called in to go drink a nice cup of brown water and we all know what happened with the Flint water crisis. It was not received very well. People were people were fed up with it. And, as I'm talking, you'll see things flashing across the screen, like the articles and little snippets of things that he said, like in quotations. And then down in the description box, I will have links to the articles, so that way you guys can see it and view it for yourselves. In particular, I normally, like on this part, I don't really put my feelings on this, but these are not really personal, but I took offense to it as well, because for me, that the city of Flint is majority black, and I believe that it was intentionally done to poison this city with these people who live in poverty in it. So a lot of things were affected in the city of Flint with this, like GM, a lot of jobs left because of the water crisis. Even though GM is still in Flint, a lot of their jobs got cut. A lot of kids received lead poisoning, a lot of rashes, a lot of illnesses, a lot of miscarriages happened with women. If you haven't watched any documentaries about it, there will be links in the description box so you can catch up on the Flint water crisis. But moving on, that was a huge, huge one. Another huge one was him meeting with Donald Trump. So he claimed that Barack Obama asked him to be part of the transition team to meet with Donald Trump, but it didn't really come across that way. It came across as he was just coming out of Trump Tower, and he was happy to be front and center in front of the press. And that seemed to steer a lot of black people wrong, because most black people are Democrats. I'm not exactly sure why most black people are Democrats instead of just being independent and voting your conscience or what's in your best interest. But a lot of people are Democrat. A lot of black people are Democrats, and this rubbed a lot of black people the wrong way. And as you see, the look on his face when he's coming out in front of the media, this just kind of rubbed black people the wrong way. Another recent one was when Monique went on his show. And parts 1 and parts 2 will be in the link in the description box of his show, where they had a back and forth banter of a previous conversation that they had off camera, but for some odd reason it was brought up on camera. I kind of feel like it should have been left off camera if they had already talked about it. But when it got brought up in front of camera, Steve Harvey suggested that you put money over your integrity, or at least that's the way it came out. Now, maybe he phrased it wrong or he worded it wrong, but it kind of came out like he would put money over integrity. Now, in this case, I didn't really give him that hard of a time, because even though I want Monique to win, some of the things that she has done herself, in my opinion, kind of threw me off on her. Like, I understand that Lee Daniels and maybe even Oprah Winfrey did you wrong, but when it was time to boycott Netflix, it seemed like Dave Chappelle, Cedric the Entertainer, a lot of these people got thrown up under the bus, but mysteriously, Amy Schumer was your sister. And when Roseanne Barr lost her show, it seemed like, she was your sister too. I noticed that she says, our sister Amy Schumer deserves these things. When he said that a Netflix issue is a rich people problem, I agreed with that. I don't really see many people canceling a Netflix subscription for that, especially when we know Netflix is not racist, because of the amount of money that they give to black people. I'm not going to say people of color, I'm going to say to black people, to produce shows and things of that nature. Now, Monique did not agree with her contract. I'm going to give you some context, even though this is kind of off the subject. She didn't agree with her contract because she felt like she deserved more than $500,000. However, to put it in context, I don't see where she owned her own production company to produce this stuff, which makes your pay rate go up. And also, she hadn't done a stand-up comedy show in a long time, which really ups your pay rate. So that's neither here nor there. That's another subject, another topic. However, that really hit him hard. To people that are hardcore Monique supporters, I wish her the best of luck, with her endeavors, because I would never wish anybody bad. But I wish her the best of luck in her endeavors. Another one. So recently, his marriage to Marjorie Harvey has been coming up a lot. even though he's been married to her for, I want to say, about 12 or 13 years. Now it seems to be front and center. It seems to be front and center of everything, and people are, with her ex coming out with a new book. There, all of a sudden it came up about Marjorie Harvey, and people, especially on YouTube, myself included, putting out small documentary style videos that are, a lot of them are fact based, and we found evidence and put clips into the videos of how he divorced his wife, and a lot of people were really turned off about that. Now, there are a lot more scandals, and when I say a lot more scandals, there are a lot more. One of the major ones, and before I move on, was on his show, there was a white woman who didn't really know how to engage with black people in conversations. And, you know, I will put the link below in the description box so you can kind of have all of the details. And what he said was, you know, to handle it in so many words was to tell them, I don't care for slavery. And I'm paraphrasing, slavery, I don't care nothing about that. And to a lot of black people, it came as, you're a sellout. A lot of people believe that he was going to get his Negro wake-up call. I don't really know what a Negro wake-up call is, because I'm a Negro all the time. I'm black all the time. But a lot of people felt like, okay, he's living delusionally and he's going to get a Negro wake-up call, and this wake-up call is going to humble him. Now, I will say this about Steve Harvey. This man can't keep a job. He keeps money coming in on all fronts. So if you're sitting here waiting for this man to go bankrupt, you're going to be waiting until generations, for a long damn time. I don't see it happening. I don't see Marjorie Harvey leaving her husband either. Even there have been articles out as of late about them divorcing. I don't see it happening. I'll believe it when I see it. Like I said in the video previously, in another video that I did on them, I will believe it when I see it. However, these are some things that rub people wrong about how he divorced his wife. And then there was another clip on The View some time back when Barbara Walters was involved, when she said that she wouldn't be taking relationship advice from him. Now, it sparked some interest, and then the Tony Rock thing sparked some interest, but when it came out about how he divorced his wife, Marjorie Harvey, it really started taking off, and it started really eating away at sort of his platform. Now, this installment is called Why is Steve Harvey Losing His Shows? Now, some time ago on the part 2 of this, or it may have been part 1, in the comment section, I was talking to a subscriber, typing back and forth, and this subscriber or viewer suggested that I look on the Family Feud complaint page. And upon this page, there were so many complaints from white viewers that did not believe that his content and what he was saying was wholesome. And this will be going across the screen too. And there are also complaints on the Steve show. A lot of people did not agree with this. And even though his ratings are doing okay, the ratings were not doing as great as an Ellen DeGeneres. So I'm going to say overall what made him lose these particular shows were ratings and complaints from non-black viewers. Even though there are some complaints for black viewers on the page, on these pages, which I'm going to put the websites below in the description box. And I do mean it is lengthy, really lengthy, about how they feel he favors African Americans that are on the show to win. And also they have complaints about his jokes, about how his jokes are not family oriented, and that they are not, basically not family oriented. However, this is not all the news. Don't count Steve Harvey out, from what I hear. And the link to this article will be below in the description box as well. He and his wife Marjorie Harvey will be converting their show onto a Facebook channel, and kind of like Jada Pinkett Smith's Red Table Talk, which is kind of taking Facebook by storm, and it does phenomenal, huge ratings. So it's got people on their phones. People are already on their phones. We kind of live on our phones. We're always on social media, so it's easy, really easy to turn into red table talk. We'll see what Steve Harvey can do with this. Like I said, the man has always got a trick up his sleeve, but we will see if people will take to Marjorie Harvey like they've taken to Jada Pinkett Smith. And that's really all I have to say about that. This is the last and final installment. Hopefully I don't have to have another video on Steve Harvey. And before I end, the latest news with him is he seems to have dumped his staff in LA the same way he dumped his staff in Chicago when he moved to LA. They're saying that he's not picking up the phone or anything. So the show had already filmed the last show for this, for the month prior, for this month, because the show is set to end this month in June. And they're saying, normally people, they go out, they have a parting ways party. There are a lot of things that happens when you end a show. Like they have a celebration, like a thank you dinner to all the staff that pitched in and helped and made the show what it was. But they're saying that Steve he gave everybody his ass to kiss in so many words. So that says a lot. So I will put the links below in the description box, and you tell me what you think. I think that it is in really poor taste that you would not give a farewell party to the staff that has made your show phenomenal after all this time. Now, some people may say, no, you don't need to do a part ways. They got their paychecks, and I agree that they do have their paychecks, but come on. Just give them this. They're losing their jobs. Give them the party. That's really all I got to say about that. I'm your girl, Liz the One. Thanks for clicking on Liz the One TV. Like I said before, if you're not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so that way you can be notified whenever I do a video, and you'll be tuned into my latest and greatest. Thanks for clicking on Liz the One TV. If you want to donate, it is optional, and the link will be below in the description box as well as I'll pin a comment to the top in the comment section. Thanks for clicking on Liz the One TV. I'm your girl, Liz the One. Peace out.